What's going on, everybody? My name is Justin Gaming. So every year at the end of the year, the Game Awards likes to host an event where they like to quote-unquote celebrate gaming, where they like to show off new footage of upcoming games, they like to have live performances, and obviously have tons of awards for different games that came out in the year. So earlier this morning, they basically announced all the nominees for their awards, all the nominees for the different categories, and there was actually quite a lot of categories. I didn't realize there was that many. There was like 28 different categories for different awards that they have, like obviously Game of the Year, but also things like Games for Impact, Best Esports Player, stuff like that. So what I wanted to do was kind of give like a quick rundown. Some of the categories that matter most to me. I'm not going to go through everything because that's going to be I'm going to be talking for a while if I do that, but you can obviously go on the website, thegameawards.com, where you can look at some of the nominees for yourself for the different categories, and you can actually vote. You can vote yourself for the different games and their specific categories, which I find pretty cool. But yeah, as I said, I wanted to go through some of these different categories. I picked 5 different categories I want to talk about, and at the end I also want to do some quick predictions for the Game Awards because I feel like they're going to show off some cool stuff. But yeah, I'll get into that later. Let's start off with these 5 categories that I'm going to be talking about. So the first one, Game of the Year. This is what they usually kind of end their showing with, the Game of the Year award, because it's like the biggest award. And the 5 nominees for this award, the nominees are Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Horizon Zero Dawn, Player Unknown's Battlegrounds, and Persona 5. So those are the 5 nominees for Game of the Year. Now, I can only really speak for one of them because I only played Horizon. I haven't played any of the other ones. I didn't play PUBG because my PC can't really run that game. Persona 5, I don't care about those Japanese games. And Zelda and Mario, I don't have a Switch to play those. So I can't really speak fully on this, but I can just say, based on kind of like the reception of all these what these games got in the year, I'm going to go out and say it right now. I think Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is going to get Game of the Year. And I just believe that because, it got a 98 on Metacritic. It was like the most talked game for a super long time when it came out back in March. So I just think Zelda is going to win the Game of the Year award. Next up, Game Direction. Now, I think this one actually does have a big impact on who will win Game of the Year award, because I think the same thing happened last year. It was really between like Overwatch and Uncharted 4, and in the end, Overwatch won Best Game Direction. So I think the same thing is what whoever wins this award is really going to dictate who wins the Game of the Year award. And they obviously have this award later on in the showing, so I feel like if that happens and they show Zelda wins the Best Game Direction, I think it's kind of confirmed that they're going to win Game of the Year as well. So I think that Zelda is once again going to win the Best Game Direction out of the 5 nominees, which are Wolfenstein 2, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and Horizon Zero Dawn. Next up, third category, Best Performance, and this is for the actors that play in these specific games. So first one we have is Melina Juergens from Hellblade, who plays Senua. I haven't played that game, but I know that game focuses kind of like on the dialogue and stuff like that with the character, where she has like some mental problem or something like that. Next up we have Laura Bailey, who plays Nadine Ross in Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. Claudia Black, who plays Chloe Fraser in Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. Brian Bloom, who's in Wolfenstein 2. And Ashley Birch, who was Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, if I had to guess right now, I would say I think that Ashley Birch will win for Aloy, just because Horizon was like the biggest PlayStation exclusive this year. So I feel like I don't know. People are making it out like Aloy was the next big PlayStation icon, which kind of has to also do with the fact that Guerrilla Games themselves were kind of hyping it up like that. They're like, yeah, Aloy's going to be the next big iconic character for PlayStation, which, I mean, her character is cool, but I honestly thought she was kind of one-dimensional. I mean, there wasn't really like any emotion with her where she found out like any revelations that kind of changed her character over time. So, I mean, if it was up to me, I would say Claudia Black deserves it, because I thought her performance in Uncharted: The Lost Legacy was great. It always is in Naughty Dog games, to be honest. But yeah, I just thought that with her performance with Chloe, we didn't see her in Uncharted 4. Her role in Uncharted 3 was quite minimal. But when she came back in Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, even after so long, it felt like she just came right back to us. I don't know. I just had this feeling. So yeah, if it was up to me, I would say Claudia Black. But in the end, I think Ashley Birch is going to win it for Horizon Zero Dawn. Next category, action adventure game. Best action adventure game. The nominees are Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, Assassin's Creed Origins, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, I'm gonna say it right now. I think Zelda's gonna win it again, even though Horizon does have a good chance because the gameplay I thought in Horizon was a lot of fun. Assassin's Creed Origins, I thought even though it's a good game, it's nothing more than a good game. I don't think it's spectacular or anything like that. So Assassin's Creed Origins, I don't think is gonna win, and Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, it's not gonna win because the gameplay is literally just the same thing as Uncharted 4. And also because Uncharted: The Lost Legacy to the general public, it'll be just viewed as nothing more than a DLC. So I don't think Uncharted: The Lost Legacy will win that. So if it is, I think it'll either be Horizon Zero Dawn or Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild that will win that one. And yeah, now for the fifth category that I'm going to talk about, the final one, is most anticipated game. And this is really interesting because out of these 5 games, 4 of them are like my most anticipated games right now. And those are God of War, The Last of Us 2, Red Dead Redemption, and Spider-Man. And the 5th one being Monster Hunter. I'm still looking forward to that game, just not nearly as much as the other ones. So if it was up to me, I would say, even though I'm looking forward to all of them almost like around the same thing, The Last of Us 2, it has to be The Last of Us because, you know, Naughty Dog is my favorite developer, and also The Last of Us was one of the best games of last generation. So Last of Us 2 is definitely a game that everybody's looking for, and it's probably like the most anticipated PlayStation exclusive right now. So yeah, I think The Last of Us Part 2 should win that one. So yeah, those are the 5 categories I want to talk about. Once again, if you want to look at the full list, you can do so. Just go on thegameawards.com and look at awards. You can see all the different categories with all the different games. So now I have 3 quick predictions I want to talk about. The first one is that I think Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the new installment in the Tomb Raider reboot franchise, I think that game will be announced with a kind of like a teaser trailer at the Game Awards. And the reason I'm saying this is because we had already heard about Shadow of the Tomb Raider. There's been like multiple leaks that we've heard about, and they said it would be announced this year. We knew that it wasn't going to be announced at E3, but sometime later. We didn't see it at the Microsoft quote-unquote Gamescom conference, if you want to call that a conference. So that led some people to thinking that we would see it at the PlayStation Paris Games Week conference, and then we didn't see it there as well. So I feel like the only place left now is either the Game Awards or PSX, but we also know that the PSX conference isn't really going to be anything this year. It's not even really a conference, they're saying. So I think the only place left is really the Game Awards, and also because the Game Awards is really more open to a mass audience, whereas if it's PSX, you're only really appealing to the PlayStation fans, whereas the Game Awards, you got fans from PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, and also PC. So I think with Shadow of the Tomb Raider, it would be perfect to announce it there. Second prediction is in regards to Hideo Kojima and Death Stranding. I think that it's been a year since we've heard from them. I think it's time we're going to see something new from them. I don't think we're going to see gameplay yet, even though there were some rumors about the Guillermo del Toro seeing gameplay soon from Kojima. I just think it's a bit too early. I think we're not going to see gameplay until next year. And obviously Kojima has that strong relationship with Geoff Keighley. So I think we're going to see a new trailer for Death Stranding revealing kind of like maybe a new character, maybe the female lead in the game. There's been rumors about Emma Stone and Stephanie Houston. So maybe one of those two with a new gameplay, or not gameplay, sorry, like a teaser, or not teaser, yeah, a trailer at the Game Awards showing off the new character and, you know, giving us a lot more theories and questions and stuff like that. So the third and final prediction, I kind of already talked about this earlier. It's just game of the year, who I think will win Game of the Year, and based on the reception that Zelda got at the beginning of the year and how much it was talked about throughout the year. It's probably the game that was talked about most and most consistently throughout the entire year. So I feel like because of that, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild is going to win the Game of the Year for 2017 at the Game Awards. And yeah, that's my final prediction. So yeah, of course, make sure to let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I guess you can let me know some of your own personal predictions if you have any that we might see at the conference. And of course, also let me know some of the who you think should win some of these specific awards. Yeah, make sure to let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. Please leave a like to support the channel and consider subscribing if you haven't already, because it helps me out a lot. And with that being said, I'd like to thank you a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.